Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Match Day 9 MLS prediction video. Let's get this out of the way. Let's start. We began with Austin taking on LA Galaxy at a 1:45 p.m. Eastern game. All these games are going to be Saturday games, so we don't have Sunday games. At least we have some Saturday. So Austin coming off a game that, well, you can say it, but they're coming off a tough loss, 5-1 to Vancouver. They welcome the Galaxy, who are still searching for their first win of the season. And this game could come down to maybe could the Galaxy finally get in the groove? I don't see this happen. Austin narrowly wins it 1-0. The game of the week, Columbus Crew taking on Miami at 4:30 p.m. Eastern game. This is a huge game for both teams because they're both undefeated in the conference. 5 wins for Columbus. Meanwhile, for Miami, there's been a 4 wins, 2, 3 draws, whatever you want to call it. But Miami's coming off another disappointing result, of course. 2 draws to 2 teams that they should have beaten, Toronto and Chicago. For Columbus, they're still riding the ship in the East. I'm going to say Miami wins it huge. They win it 2-1. Charlotte FC taking on San Diego at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Charlotte is back home after a huge road win against Montreal. Will they keep their undefeated home streak alive against San Diego, who came off so close after a 3-2 loss to Colorado? Listen, if there's anyone that can end Charlotte's home streak, it could be San Diego. But you never know. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw, 2-2 draw. Seattle taking on Nashville at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Seattle and Nashville both are coming off big wins, of course. For Seattle, a huge road win against Dallas, while for Nashville, a huge home win against Real Salt Lake. I can see Seattle winning this one 2-0. New England taking on New York City Football Club. Both teams also coming off big wins. New England getting a huge win on the road to Atlanta, while for New York, they get a big win against Philadelphia. This game's going to be huge, but I think New York wins it. I think a 2-1 win against New England. Philadelphia taking on Atlanta at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. I mentioned they both are coming off tough losses, but this is a huge game in the East. Atlanta is trying to get back to where they supposed to be, while for Philly, they try to get back to that leader spot in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to take Philadelphia. They get this huge win 2-0 against Atlanta. New York Red Bulls take on DC United 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. New York Red Bulls coming off a draw to Orlando. But for DC, it's not going after a disappointing loss to Cincinnati in this one. New York Red Bulls win it 3-0. Montreal taking on Orlando, 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Montreal, tough home loss. Things are not going according to plan. Of course, you fire your manager, then you go with an interim manager, and now they got to play Orlando. Orlando wins it 4-0. Chicago taking on Cincinnati at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Cincinnati with a big win against DC United, while for Chicago, a huge result against Miami in home. And this is Cincinnati, of course, from Ohio. They're going to travel to Illinois and Chicago. This is going to be a fun one. I think, and this is my upset of the week, I think Chicago wins it 2-1 against Cincinnati. Houston taking on Colorado at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Houston come off a huge result and a draw against LA Galaxy, while for Colorado, a massive win against San Diego. Fun game, but I think Colorado and Houston are going to end up a draw. A 0-0 draw. Minnesota taking on Dallas at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Minnesota come off a draw against Toronto, while for Dallas, they're going to look to get back on track after a loss to to their rival Seattle. Huge game for both. I'm going to go Dallas wins it 2-1. St. Louis taking on Vancouver. Okay, 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. St. Louis, I mentioned it in my update video for Matchday 8 update. Go check that out. I mentioned St. Louis are in a 4-game losing streak. Not good. No bueno. They're going to take on Vancouver, who had a huge home win, a 5-1 win against Austin FC. This is in St. Louis, and I know St. Louis fans don't want to hear the 5 losing streak if they lose this game. I'm going to take Vancouver. I'm sorry. It's just that Vancouver's getting improvement. 2-0 win against St. Louis. Real Salt Lake taking on Toronto at 9:30 p.m. Eastern game. Real Salt Lake come off a tough loss to Nashville. And for Toronto, back-to-back draws. They drew with Miami, and now they drew to Minnesota. I think this is going to be the same result here. Draw 1-1. Portland taking on LAFC at 10:15 p.m. Eastern game. The biggest news today is the LAFC's manager will leave the club after the 2025 season ends. This is shocking because he's going to be taking the German managing job, which I'm shocked. I don't know why. But this is what it is. Shock. But they're coming off a huge bounce back win against San Jose. They're going to welcome Portland, who came off in a thriller with a 4-2 win against Kansas City. This game is huge for both teams, but I'm going to take LAFC winning it 3-1. San Jose taking on Kansas City at 10:30 p.m. Eastern game. San Jose, mention it, lost to LAFC. Kansas City lost to Portland. Huge game for both teams, but I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And that's it, folks. That's Matchday 9 update video of picks predictions. Whew. When do I get tired of this? But don't worry. If you have not seen my other videos, go check that out. My channel below. Please make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. And if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more sports news. We'll see you guys in the next one. And enjoy Match Day 9 of the MLS season.